we all start somewhere, and I've been learning my way through Fallout 4 ever since the show stopped, and I was looking for something fun to play. So this is my ultimate beginner's guide to Fallout 4 based on my own experience as a beginner. So these are some things that might be a little different than other guides you've seen out there. If you're a veteran player, this might not be new news to you, but for everybody else, I hope you enjoy. Let's dive in. The special system is your stat system. So you've got strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, luck, otherwise special. And beneath that you have your various perks. And perks are abilities and effects and things, passives, so on and so forth, that you can select, each related to the stat that it falls under. So strength is going to lean more towards, as it says, raw physical power, how much you can carry, your melee attacks, so on and so forth. Perception is more related to your environmental awareness. It says your sixth sense, so you get better weapon accuracy. There are things also like lockpicking. If you go down here, pickpocket, these things are in the perception line. So like here for a locksmith. And then, you know, endurance is more related to your health overall and being able to eat foods and things. And action point drain. There's charisma, which affects your conversations. Intelligence, which is the number of experience points you earn. Agility training, which affects things like, you know, sneak, being able to sneak around and do fun things. And then luck, which is just luck. And then you've got things like scrounging, which I like to have some points in for ammo in containers. So yeah, that's the breakdown on the stat system and perks. And the way that you think about this is, think about the way you want to play the game. So I went charisma first because I want to be able to unlock all of the conversation wheels that I find in the game. So every conversation has branches, right? I want to explore all those branches, and I want to be able to win the encounters where you need to convince someone to do something or to pay you something, or to look the other way. You know, I like to be able to dominate in those conversations, and so charisma for me is always the first stat that I focus on. And then as soon as I wrap up with that, I go into agility because I want to be able to get the most out of the V.A.T.S system, and I want to be able to sneak. So there's, especially in terms of sneaking, that's hugely beneficial to exploring maps when you're on foot, not necessarily in your power armor, but that's just how I go to play. And after that, I've put some points in strength so that I could get the strong back perk, which allows me to carry more. And then in the perception line, focused on a little bit of locksmith, and I'll be leveling these up long term. I'll definitely max out strength, and I will focus on perception finally. So just think about how you want to play. Do you want to play a dude who runs around with a giant two-handed maul and just bash people over the head, or do you want to be, you know, purely sneak based, you know, with a lot of luck, you know? So you could totally go that route if you want to. It's entirely up to you. So action points are a thing, and you use them when you do things like sprint, which we just did right there. So you see that bottom right, there's a bar that became drained, and then it refilled over time, like this. The action bar is important because it governs all of your special stuff. So like sprinting uses up that bar, and also when you go into V.A.T.S, all of your V.A.T.S actions take action points as well, which is one of the reasons why I've chose to go into the agility line primarily as soon as I get charisma done, because for me, I want as many action points as possible. Now, it doesn't mean that this is the only way to play. I'm just explaining my reasoning behind this, because I like to rely on the V.A.T.S system, because I suck at aiming in this game, because there's really no aim assist, right? So this is the aim assist. This is their, you know, this is their system, which is carried over from the first two games where you can target body parts and do damage to foes. So if we go down in here real quick, actually, we can see that in action, and it'll also lead us into the next segment of the video. But this is what it looks like when you're out running around. You know, it's on your, if you start using something that requires action points, you start to see the bar and it starts to drain. But once it fills up, after a few seconds, it does disappear. And then it pops back up when you start to use it again, or if you enter V.A.T.S, it's always going to be up like it is on the bottom right. But let's go ahead and get into my power armor here, because it's going to look a little different when we get in here. And instead of seeing it as a bar, you're going to see it as a dial, essentially, on the bottom right there. And so that giant dial, if I start to sprint, there it goes, starts to drain. So you always see it when you're in your power armor. V.A.T.S and FPS mode, and talk a little bit about why I prefer V.A.T.S over the FPS mode, but you can do either or. So if you just want to do FPS mode, you totally can. By the way, you can adjust all of your aim times and everything in the settings, figure out what works best for you. Now we should be finding something down in here somewhere, because there's traps, man. Traps, man. Oh yeah, there's definitely robots down there. So we're about to go into a combat situation and show you how the V.A.T.S work. So we could probably target them from here. Yeah, so we don't even have to necessarily enter into combat quite yet. But when you enter into the V.A.T.S system during a combat encounter, you're going to get this targeting map. And you switch between that. I'm playing on the Xbox, but you can switch between these, like with the left stick, switch between the body parts. And you're usually going to aim for, you know, something that's going to give you the highest rate, unless it's something that's protected by armor. And there's other reasons why you want to target on specific limbs, for example. Like if they're carrying a gun in their right arm and you blast their right arm to smithereens, chances are they're not going to have a gun to shoot you anymore. This goes, you know, for super mutants, and there's the guys that run at you with the mini nukes, and if you shoot their arm, they'll like blow up the mini nuke on themselves. So there's lots of cool ways to use the V.A.T.S system. And if you want to switch between targets, you just use the right thumb pad, and then you can, you know, now we got this guy. Ooh, it's a legendary even. That guy's going to be a pain in the butt to take down for sure. But we can back away from here really quick. That's essentially how the V.A.T.S system works, the V.A.T.S system. And like I said, I don't have to use it. I could switch over to my pistol, for example, and,
That's dumb.
you know, go from here. We may actually get some combat right now. They may be coming up. Oh, they're coming up. So let's see this in action. We've got this one right here. Oops, I only need to do 2 shots to take them out. So look on the bottom right. You'll notice that it's got red now because it's showing my actions essentially. Ooh, I'm out of ammo after I do this one. Alright. I'll have to switch weapons here. And then FPS mode to finish him off. Ah! Fire hot, guys. So then we can... I suck at FPS mode, as you can see, which is why I prefer the V.A.T.S system as often as possible. Here we go. Headshot. That's what I call winning, ladies and gentlemen. The Pip Boy is your life, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in here, and so you need to familiarize yourself with all of the different tabs and how they work. So you've got your stats tab, which shows you your overall status, shows you your stats, and it shows you your perks. And then you can go down through here and look accordingly. Then you can move over to your inventory where you can see your weapons, your apparel, your aid items like first aid items, your miscellaneous items, your junk items, your mods, and your ammo. You can then go over into the data, which is quests. This is where you're going to find all your quests, and you can go down through search here from here. You can also go over and look at all of the settlements that you've got access to, where you could be building workshops and stuff, and if you've set up any workshops at these places, so on and so forth. It's just all the workshops you've come across, and then you've got your general information here. How many locations you've discovered, etc. Your general stats, the quests you've completed so far, what your combat stats are, your crafting stats, crime stats. Then you get into the map. This is where you find all of the fast travel waypoints and places you've discovered. And it is based on discovery, so you have to have traveled to these places first. I still haven't cleared the map, but I'm getting there. I'm a ways in now at this point. And then finally you have radio, which allows you to listen to all these various radio stations and distress signals and emergency frequencies and military frequencies and beacons and things that you come across in your travels. There's also music if you want to listen to music. I don't because of the fact that I stream this game and make content around it, and those almost always get flagged by YouTube and Twitch, so it's just not worth it. But that's your Pip Boy, and you're going to be spending a lot of time in it, so get used to it. Exploration is a huge, huge part of Fallout 4 because all of these locations, the ones that are like highlighted, I haven't yet cleared, but the other ones that are filled in, I've cleared and fully explored. So you can basically, as you run around the game world, you're going to uncover things, and until you get to those locations, you don't uncover things. So you notice some of these areas are more sparse than others. Like, I've explored a lot right around here. Like, that's because there's main quests that kind of all are in this area. And so I've done a ton of stuff in this region. And as you go explore the entirety of the world, you can fill up the whole map like that, essentially. Exploration is not just about exploring the map, though. It's also about when you're in the game world, like right here. Any body you come across, any lootable object could be a quest starter or a clue to something. And all of the NPCs that you come across that you can talk to may have quests for you as well, just based on you having conversations with them. So this is an open world RPG, so it really is somewhere where you can spend hundreds and hundreds of hours if you want to, just immersing yourself in the world and exploring everything there is to see and do. It's you know, if you like that type of environment, then this can be a game that can keep you captivated for 6 months or more, just based on exploration alone, because there's so much to see and do. Not just, you know, following the main quest lines, but also going, I'm going to go over here, and what's that over there? There's a guard tower. Let's go check that out. And then we get up here, and it's like, oh, crap. You know, this guard tower led to a signal tower, right? Which led to bandits, which led to an underground bunker, a hangar where we got to go clear it out and do quests and stuff like that. So, exploration. It's a key component of this game. Because this is an older game, it doesn't have the same frequency of quick saves that many modern games do, or autosaves, I should say. So one of the things you have to get in the habit of is manually quick saving as often as possible. And that can be done simply by opening up the menus option, hitting quick save, and you're done. Now, you also, just depending on what level you're playing on, like I'm just playing on easy mode because it's my first time through and I don't want to be challenged, and I just want to do quests and have fun. So for me, like, I go into the settings, and that's the wrong thing for the settings. We go into settings. I don't have any mods installed, and I can go into gameplay, and I can go down here to, like, okay, I want it to save when I rest, save when I wait, save when I travel. I want it to save, you know, as frequently as possible in Pip Boy, and this is 5 minutes, you know. All of these settings to maximize the amount of times it's going to quick save. And if I exit out of here, it might actually autosave. It just did on the bottom. It said saving. And then sometimes on the top left you'll get the autosave thing as well. But quick save constantly. I've just learned, you know, we enter a building here. As soon as we enter the hatch and get loaded in, I'm going to quick save because I know there's going to be combat down here. And so then we'll move down the stairs. You know, I've actually come in here and I've cleared a little bit, but this gives you a good example. You know, we'll move up a little bit, go, okay, boom, 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 we've cleared all this. Let's go ahead and do another quick save here before we move any deeper, because you never know. You might trip a trap. There might be an important conversation. Always be quick saving. At some point in the game, you're going to come across a door that you need to lockpick, or a safe, or, you know, something in the wall. You're going to need to crack locks. I like to be able to do a little bit of lockpicking. It's not my primary way of playing. But I do like to have it in my back pocket so that I can unlock things as needed from time to time. I can't do masters yet, but I can do, you know, the basics. So once you get in here, you're going to see where it says you need bobby pins. Now, I collect all the bobby pins I come across, so I have a great stockpile. the lockpicking system here, you know, there's just a mini game that you have to do where it's like you have to move the top bobby pin until you can spin the screwdriver all the way around. And when you do, boom, it unlocks whatever you're trying to open, and you can get in here and get access to things like, oh, cool, more bobby pins and wonder glues and fuses and an adjustable wrench. You know, just some extra loot along the way. But sometimes you'll also find that there are certain quest objectives where you can like bypass entire sections of a room or an area by going through a door or something. Now this is an expert level,
Loctite,
which I can't do. So leveling up your lockpicking is important if you want to lockpick the coolest things in the game. But that's just something to consider. It does use bobby pins, so it's an expendable resource. But if you want to run a stealth build, which I've done in the past, I know I did a stealth build in Starfield most recently. I'm in Bethesda games. Stealth builds are a lot of fun, but they usually have a consumable resource, and in this case, it is bobby pins. Alright, at some point you are going to come across terminals like these, and in order to hack them, you're going to need an associated hacking skill, similar to lockpicking. You know, you'll need to have the appropriate skill to lockpick, you know, the best locks in the game. So this is the same principle in play. Now the mini game is a little different here. So when we go in here, it's going to spew out this list, and it's going to show us all these different words matched throughout. So we have 4 attempts represented by the 4 green squares at the top, and our objective is to find the word that is the right word, which allows you to bypass all this and access the root menu. Now I'm not very good at this. I'm really not. The more complex ones are more difficult, but essentially what you're supposed to do is you have 4 attempts to try to find out what the right word is. And what you'll do is you'll pick a word at random and you'll say, okay, let's look at this, and it's going to say there are no other, this is likeness 0 on the bottom right. That means there are no other letter combinations on this list that match this one. Well, that means we can eliminate that completely and look for things that have the same letters. We can kind of go, you know, maybe not that one. What about while has E strips? Shovel. Shovel is completely different. That has a likeness of 1, so we know it's got like an SH, an HO, an OV, EL, you know, whatever. It's got some sort of something in common with something else. And so we would go from here and we would try to figure out what the right word is. A good way to do this is to do 3 attempts. I don't know. Let's look smooth. No. We got 3. So we've used 3 of our 4 attempts. What we want to do now is we want to back up and go over here and do the next step of this, which is something that I never learned in games. Someone had to tell me how to do this. And essentially what you can do is you can go down through here and you can look for, this is what you're looking for, these 2 brackets. So see how there's a parenthesis to the left and a parenthesis to the right, so it's a matching set that closes the argument. If you click on the first one, or click on you have to click on the first one. If you click on the first one, it highlights that section. So what that's going to do is when you click on that, it's going to do one of 2 things. It's either going to get rid of a dud, get rid of a word that doesn't work, or it's going to give you 3 attempts back and you can keep going. That one just gave me my tries reset, but I want to go ahead and go through here and eliminate some duds as well. So what I'm looking for is there's a couple of different brackets like these. Dud removed. And we're going to go through here and we're going to look for these, and we're going to remove duds. I don't think those ones do it. This one might. Yep. I think that's probably it for those. And yep. And we go over here to the next line. We can go up and say, are there any? And it's I forget exactly the specific type of brackets, but like these arrows for sure, parentheses, and then I think the brackets, any sort of like brackets that you see that are closed brackets, they have to be closed off. Like that. That's a closed off bracket. It's going to remove another dud. I think that's the last one. So then it would give us a few of these words left. And we already know that we tried like, we tried smooth, we tried throws. So let's try prefer. Likeness 0. Advice? Likeness 1. I don't know. Likeness 0. See, I'm not very good at this. We did Tavern the very first time. Nope, and then we're locked out. So then what happens is, if you get locked out, you got to go away for, I think it's like 10 seconds or so on and so forth. But you'll go away and eventually you'll be able to get back in, and you'll try it again. I'm not very good at this, but that's essentially what you're looking at. And then once you access it, you're going to get the root menu, which allows you to then do things like turn the turrets off or make the Protectatron protect you instead of the bad guys, and occasionally like open doors and things. It's just, you know, typically it's secondary content that you can access where you can get things like loot and ammo and etc. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Alright, next up is your power armor, which you will come across various sets of in the game. So here I've got a set, which is my Minuteman set. It's the first set you come across. It's a T45 set. This is the most easy set to obtain and the easiest set to maintain, because it only requires like lower tier resources that you can find through scavenging and breaking items down at your settlements and workshops that you come across. You do need a fusion core to operate this, so one of the things that's very important if you plan on using the power armor is you need to stockpile fusion cores. Anytime you come across a fusion core, stash it, and you're going to have to actively be searching for fusion cores because they're not that common. I do not run around in my power armor 24/7 because of the fact that those are limited resources. So I save my power armor for times when I go into an area and it feels a little too difficult. I will then back out, go grab my power armor, come back, do what I need to do, get the quest objective, go back, repair the armor, drop it off, and go on about my way in normal mode like I am right now until I find something that feels a little too difficult. Then I'll grab my power armor and get back in it. Now, there are different sets of power armor. This is the lower tier set of power armor, and I'm going to go ahead and hop in, and we're going to travel back to the Red Rocket Station where I've got my other set of power armor stationed. Alright, as we roll up to the Red Rocket Station, that's my other set. This is the T60 set right here. Better stats. Overall, it looks a little bit different, but it's also much more costly to repair. This thing does not cost that much to repair, so we're going to drop out of it real quick. You got to drop it off near a repair station for this to work. And then you come over here and you go to craft, and you say, I want to repair this. It's going to take some materials, and then you're going to re-equip it because it unequips if it gets too damaged. So in my adventures, a couple of pieces got too damaged. Got to be repaired, got to re-equip them. And then we go through here and look at the damage to each one of these and just repair each individual piece like so. That one's 45 and 50, it's pretty good. That one's half. I think we're good on the rest of this. Then we can just back out of here, and we're going to leave that alone because I've done what I need to do for the adventuring session, and now I can just let the power armor sit here. Again, they look similar, but this one has far more armor plating. It's got a slightly different jetpack as well, or I think that's a jetpack, but entry section. But it's the same suit of armor once you jump in it. It's here. I'll just show you. It's the same interior once you're inside. It's just that you get different stats. So I'm much beefier in this one than I am in the other one. So anyway, power armor, baby. You don't have to run around in it, but it's great to have. You'll come across various sets in your travels. Enjoy them.
I never properly thanked.
Settlements. They are sort of the lifeblood of the end game, as it were, in this game. Because outposts, you can customize, you can build all sorts of crazy stuff, and you can customize them as you want, but essentially it's a home base that is where all of these NPCs can be found, where you can send companions, and where you can have your own crafting stations set up. And you can go over here into the workshop and you can build all these different types of things. So we've got special structures like artillery pieces, which we would need screws to build. We can also look at structures like, I'm gonna build a wooden structure. How about prefabs? Okay, well there's different types of prefabs. So if you're used to like crafting survival games, that's essentially what this is. This is like one of the earliest, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the games that was the earliest to do it really, really well. Like a huge crafting system that you can go through. So there's all these different structures you can build. Furniture, decorations, power sources, defense structures, resource things, stores, crafting stations, cages, raiders. Like you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. And at the top, you'll see a stat system that shows you the current stats of a given outpost. And there are multiple outposts through the game or settlements that you can choose to expand upon if you want to. But at the very, very least, it's worthwhile to have sanctuaries set up, because this is like a ramshackle, bits and pieces piece of power armor that I came across, I think from a raider or somebody, and I just brought it back here and stashed it for parts. And then this is all this stuff I drop on the ground, like things that I might want to keep a hold of, but I don't know. So I just throw it down on the ground here. And then you've got your workbenches where you can come and you can break things down and scrap them for different things. I don't want to scrap I don't want to scrap any of these things. But you can break things down, and you can also choose to then transfer things. There we go. And you can like transfer all junk is one of the big ones, and then it stashes all the junk over here in your workshop. And a lot of those junk items can be used for like upgrades and building things and so on and so forth. So if you can't break it down, you should definitely store it. And you can always look at the different workstations to figure out, because you can only break down weapons at weapon station, armor stations, so on and so forth. So this is where you do that, is at your settlement. So you're definitely going to want to at least have the one settlement somewhat structured, so that you can come in here and at least have a bunch of workstations to deal with or to use, and go from there. Crafting stations are a big deal. You're not just going to be breaking down items here, you're also going to be modifying the things that you come across. So all the weapons and all of the armor can be modified. And to do that, you need to come to a crafting station and have the relevant skills as well as the right materials. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go in here and look at an automatic receiver, it says I have these available mods, and I can then go in here and scroll down through all these different mods that I could put on this 10mm pistol. Now, these are all the types of receivers. Now, you'll see in the light green are the ones I could do. So they require components, and you get components by breaking things down. So that's how you get those components. But what about when it says required rank 1 gun nut over there on the far right? That means that there is a perk that is required for you to modify this item. And that would require you to go into the special system and find the gun nut perk. Now, I don't actually know where that's at, but we would go to the perk chart. I'm thinking it might be perception. I don't know, but we're looking for gun nut is the one we're looking for. I really don't know where it is, so it's not there. Well, maybe it's intelligence. Intelligence might be related to crafting. I just don't know. Vans, medic, gun nut, there it is. So we would want to take a rank in gun nut. It said rank 1 required. So different mods require different perks. So there's, rank 1 gun nut, and then there's rank 2 gun nut, rank 3 gun nut, rank 4 gun nut. Different mods have different requirements, so you're going to have to pay attention to that, as well as scavenging everything if you want to get the most out of the crafting system in this game. A big component to Fallout 4 is the companions. So Right now I've got Ada because I've been working on quests for her. She's definitely not my favorite companion. I love Valentine. Valentine is
I've
awesome.
been thinking about how things went down with Winter.
He's really cool. I've done a lot of questing with Valentine. And of course, everybody's favorite, Dogmeat. Now these are just a handful of the companions that you can find in the game, but companions have their own desires, wants, side quests that you can unlock, and as you get higher up in rank with them, you can get better. They get better at things, bonuses and so on and so forth. So you can converse with them, build your reputation with them. Certain things you say or do will impact your relationship with them. So the companion system, it's not perfect. Bethesda's companion system is notorious for being very quirky, but it is, it's an enjoyable aspect of this game. And there are a lot of companions to choose from that sort of have their own flavor, their own style, their own, like, everything. So it's just up to you to choose which one you want to take. Don't feel like you're locked into one, though, because many of these have side quests content for you. So it's like it makes sense for you to go hang out with and do quests with all of the companions if you want to get the best out of the game or the most out of the game, because there's a lot of content that is unique to each one of the companions. That is a wrap, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, stick around for more. We do lots of different games. There's lots of different things that happens on the channel. So see you next time, everybody. Stay safe and happy gaming.